So these are the paints I'm going to use for now. All right, so yellow, red, and blue, that's your primary colors, and some white. And then we are going to take our canvas, our big, huge canvas, and we are going to tape it off so that we can get a horizon line. So I'm just using this tape here. And this is your painter's tape. And I'm going to come down a little under halfway so that I can leave enough room for the beach and for the sky. Okay, so hopefully that's a bit straight. Let's see. It looks straight. I got a big old brush here. A big old size 12 synthetic brush. And this brush is going to help me get on a really pretty sky. Okay, so I'm going to mix some colors together for the sky. And I'm going to mist it. I'm going to mist it. And what I call is my magic mist, okay? I make it up with water and some slow drying gel for acrylics. I got a link on my YouTube channel. So I'm just going to, that will help this blend better, okay? So you just spray that on. And if it don't spray, then you use something else. How about this one? I find this one a bit better. Oh, there we go. That's better. The other one wouldn't work. So, that's okay. So I'm just going to put it on there. So this will help the paints stay wet longer because acrylics dry really fast. So this will keep it from drying out too fast. Okay. And there we go. That's done so far. Oh, thank you, Carrie. Thank you so much. Thank you. So I'm going to add a little bit of blue and some red. I'm going to purple it up a little bit. Make the top of the sky a little more purple. And lots of white. White will be your friend. I'm going to block that with paint. All right. Maybe a little more red. Red is very, very dominant, so you don't want to use a lot of red. All right, so you see how smoothly that's going on there now? Isn't that nice? Look how it just goes smooth because of my recipe for magic mist. I also have magic white. So that's all on my YouTube channel, and I will leave a link here so you can go find it. And some little mess on there that don't want to go away. Look at that. And so we'll mix it up again. A little bit of purple, lots of white. Trying to get the top of the sky a little darker, then as I come down it'll get lighter and lighter and more blue. All right, so that's pretty so far. So far, so good. No, I didn't. I'm a self-taught artist, they call us. Self-taught. I've been teaching, and since, gosh, 2007. Do YouTube videos. I was teaching in my little home studio I had and all that stuff. So then when COVID came in, I stopped teaching in my little studio, and I just left it at that. All right, so now we're going to go with some blue. And this time, a lot more white, because we want to. And I didn't add any red to it this time. So I'm going to lighten that up again. I'm not too worried, because I'm trying to get the top a little darker than the bottom. And we got to come down. We've got to go lighter and lighter and lighter. So we don't want it to be too. So I'm just going to put a pile of white. I'm going to put a pile of white there, and that will brighten it. Really nice. There we go. See? You can go over and over and over it because it's still wet. Once it dries, it's very difficult to go back over it again and again and again. All right, so as we go down, we'll go lighter and lighter and lighter. That's the way the sky works. Dark at the top, darker at the top, and as you come down, it gets lighter and lighter. I like the top to be a little darker than that, so I'm going to add a bit of red and blue. Darken up that corner, those corners up there a little bit more. So I just put a little bit of red and blue together. no white, because we have paint already on there, and I want to darken that up there a little bit, see? But because of the magic mist, I can do this for a long time because it keeps the paint wet. Our acrylics dry really, really fast. I'm going to get lots of white again, block it with white, because as I come down here, I want to go lighter and lighter and lighter. But not like white or anything, but lighter and lighter. And because it's still wet, look, I can blend that. See how nice that's blending? See that? Isn't that pretty? Nice. And these are the paints that I love. I love these paints. These here, these are $1 and roundy, and they're big. They're about $6. I think these big ones are probably $10. But they're worth it. They last a really long time, and they're really thick, and they are smooth and they blend well. So if you're looking for any kind of paint, you're wondering what kind is the best to get, I do love $1 and roundy. I also love Liquitex. See, they come in these big bottles, right? Right, like $10 I think each. They last for a long time. So I'm going to add just pure white to my dirty brush. My brush is dirty. See, there's just blue paint on it, so that's dirty. And that's good because it'll still be light, but yet it'll still have some blue in there. See? See that? Isn't that nice? See, just blend it in. Blend it in. They got some light colors and some blue. Look at that. See? That's not nice. It's not just all one color. You can see that there's some blue coming off the brush there and some white. Nice. Isn't that nice? Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. That's pretty. I like that. I did too, but this is different than the one I'm doing today, right? So that's a nice one too. See, that's the palm trees. I'll show you how to do a palm tree today, and a nice beach, and the colors. You know, mixing your colors is the thing too, right? Trying to mix colors. So let's do a cloud. I'm going to use 3 different brushes so you can see how you can do clouds with different brushes. Now the clouds, this is probably still a bit wet, so I'm just going to use a bit of white on the corner of my brush. And then I'm going to make some little circles. Like that. Just let that, see? See how simple that was? So you can make as many clouds as you want. There we go. So the closer to the horizon line, the bigger and fluffier they are. As they get up higher, they're more distant. All right. I'm going to try another brush now because I want to get a soft, fluffy cloud. This one's kind of, it's not bad, but it's not, you know, what I'm looking for. All right, so I'm going to put that back in water. I'm going to try my fan brush, which is a Bristle fan brush. Try the corner of that brush there. I like using the corners of the brush because that way then I got more control. So this is nice. I just want them soft. I don't want them jumping out too much. Just soft. Blending out the edges there. Once you get that little top on your cloud, once you get that little top, you can move away from it and leave that top. Okay? Just make little circles and move around so that it gives it a shape. And then you keep that top, but on the bottom you can spread it out and make it go in with the sky. See? See, they're nice little clouds, aren't they? Yeah. So then we can add more clouds. You can add as many clouds as you want. Right? I'll try the other brush there now too for you. Let's try the other brush. That's this Bristle brush. Alright, it's a flat Bristle brush. You can use the corner of that also. And you can put some clouds underneath the cloud. Picked up too much blue that time. Here we go. So you just make little circles. Clean off my brush because I got too much blue. I must have picked up a bunch of blue. That happens sometimes. It's okay. You're not going to ruin your painting. Always paint over it or just go around it or whatever you want to do. You can paint, and you can tap on a cloud, tap it on if you like. And just tap at the bottom so that it looks like it's all in with the sky. Some nice clouds going on down here. See? Put them everywhere. Whatever's left over on your brush, you can make some distant clouds. Up here, just kind of scrub that paint off your brush and go right across the sky to make these far away floating clouds. See? Barely see them, but they're there. Kind of make little circles, little scrubbing, make them wherever you want. Just whatever's on your brush, just scrub it in, and you get these soft clouds that are far away, distant clouds. There we go, fluffy, distant clouds. It's very easy. It's not too bad. I mean, you know, once you know what brushes to use and what you got to do with your brush and how to do it with your brush, you get used to it after a while, you know. You just, they say practice makes perfect, but, you know, you just play around. I think what a lot of people do is they worry about not getting it exactly like something they're following. You might be following a picture. You might be following me. You might be following someone on YouTube, and you're like, how come I can't get my cloud exactly like that? Well, you shouldn't even try. Don't even bother trying to get your clouds exactly the same as mine or somebody else's. Just put them on there the best way you can get them on and have fun. Yeah. So that's a nice little sky. You know, you can add more things to that. I might add some birds to it after. And then down here, well, I'm going to leave this on. What we're going to do is put little hills back there. Why not? So I'm just going to use this brush. It's a small synthetic flat brush. It's got a chiseled edge. See? And then you can add some, let's see. You can probably add some burnt sienna. Burnt sienna is a really beautiful color. I love burnt sienna, and I also love burnt umber. So, and if you want to, if you're looking for a list of, like, so everything's on my YouTube channel, but you can email me. My email address should be there somewhere. And you can email me, and I'll give you a list of the colors and the names of the colors and things like that. I'll help you out in an email if you want, right? And you can also join a Patreon page that I have there. And I got all kinds of good stuff there going on. But, yeah, so I'm going to put some burnt umber. Or will I put on burnt sienna? I think burnt sienna might be nice. Yeah, I think burnt sienna would be nicer. It could give more color. So I'm going to put some burnt sienna on my palette. And you can use anything for a palette. You can use an old plate that you got home. Alright, so what was I going to do? I was going to put some hills. So I'm going to mix up some paint. So I got some burnt sienna. And I'm going to add a little bit of red to that. And a little bit of blue. Because I want to keep the colors really dark. Alright. And probably a little bit on the brown side. So I'll add a bit more red. See how it's starting to brown up there now, right? So, like, I got a color mixing video on how to mix your colors with just the 3 primaries and probably a bit of burnt sienna and things like that. So, yeah, so that helps. Let's see. We'll put little hills over here. So just make some shapes. Depends on what way you want them. Come over wherever you think you'd like to put them, and then you fill it in. See? Just fill it in. Nice. And shape them up whatever way you want to shape them. Alright, so you just fill them in first, and then we'll worry about finishing off the shapes after. I'm just using the edge of my brush there so I can get a better edge to it. I don't want it all too crinkly there. Alright, that's good. And we'll do the other side. Same thing. We'll just add one maybe a little bit taller. See if you can see that. I don't want to... Oh yeah, you can see that. There we go. Right? You can see that? Good. Alright, so we'll come into about here. As long as you get your shape first, and then you can fill it in. There we go. See, and now you get a couple of little hills. Pretty quick, pretty easy. try to make things as easy as I can for people who are learning to paint or never painted before. That's my whole goal, is to get people started painting, and then you can move on to more advanced classes. I do have some more advanced paintings, but if you want to go even like really advanced, there's beautiful videos on YouTube, or some people sell courses. And that way you can, and I have a lot of books, a lot of painting books. I'll show them to you now in a little while. I have Bob Ross. That's not a bad little hill. It's nice and big. Stands out, right? Yeah. That's a nice one. So I always put my brushes in water after I finish painting with them to keep them clean. Alright, so we'll leave that, let that dry. We'll add some highlights that in a little while. So we'll take this off, and then we will add our water. Okay, so we got water, we got a beach. Alright, so now we get our clean brush, and I'm just going to use, let me see, maybe this one might be nice. Yeah. I use brushes that I get from Michael's or from the dollar stores. Got beautiful. I can't get over some of the things. A lot of my brushes came from the dollar store. I mean, you got brushes like this, and they have this beautiful, and they got palette knives in there. Palette knives are nice. I should use a palette knife for you so you can see what I'm doing for the water maybe. And for $4, right? That's the $4. Look, see? And your brushes in there, and container. I mean, there's so much stuff there for $4, and they have so much variety. They have paints. It's really good, I must say. The dollar stores are great for artists because all the supplies that you need are very expensive in some stores. So this is a way to. I'm going to see where I want the beach. Okay, there's the water. I'm going to put a beach down here and a palm tree up here. So I'm going to see where I want that beach. Let me see. I will put some blue on my brush. All right, some blue on my brush. And I will... Oh, it looks amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Mickey Mike. Okay, so I'm going to figure out where I want my water. So I'm just going to have some water coming in on the beach. I'm going to make some waves because water comes in and kind of waves around coming in on the beach. It's just going to be straight across. Sometimes it will come in from the sides or whatever, but we're just going to make this pretty simple today, okay? So I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to add blue paint. And it's pretty dark in the back here. And I'm just going to go. Now, if you don't have a straight hand, if you're having a hard time, when that dries, you can put tape on the top so it won't go up there. But I'm going to take a chance on it and put my brush flat down like this so that the corner of my brush is up against the horizon line, and then that will hopefully stay a little straighter. So we'll go like that. All right. If I do go up too high or make a mess into my sky or whatever, I'll just use it as a little wave coming in or something. So this is what I'm saying, like, you don't try to be following exactly what I'm doing or what other people are teaching you. I mean, it is good to, do, but they're painting their way. Even though they're teaching, because I can teach you about colors, I can teach you about what brushes to use, but you are the one that's going to create from your own hand. I'm creating from my own hand, but I'm showing you that, you put tape on and all that good stuff, but everything else is your hand, right? So as long as you know the basics, then you are going to be the one that's creating. Now, you might want this color a little lighter, so you can change the colors because it's your world. It's your world, nobody else's. And all you need is a guiding hand. That's all you need. And then you can go from there, okay? So now you know how to get shapes of your mountains. You can have them whatever shape you want. You know how to get the shapes, so now you can have whatever shape you want. Don't have to be exactly like mine. Don't have to be 3 humps and, perfectly like mine. Don't even try that, because you'd be so discouraged and you'd just be discouraged, and you probably won't even paint. You'd be like, I can't do it exactly like that artist. I hope you don't. Do your own thing. Now that's pretty dark, so I don't want it that dark because the sky is light and the sky is going to reflect into the water a little bit, right? So we'll just take some white paint. Now clean off my brush and we're going to take some white paint because this is still wet, and you're going to go in here and now we're going to paint it all the way down with just white. So you don't need any more blue now, just white, white, white. All right, so there we go. Perfect. See, and that lighten up a little bit up there. You can keep going back up there again, back down again, back up and back down. And there we go. All right. So that's where the water line is going to be, coming up on the beach. So basically I've been using mostly blues today, which is kind of nice for beginners because you don't have to worry about having to mix up too many colors. And I'm just going back and forth, long strokes, because if you don't go long strokes, you're going to get these little, right? You don't want that, right? You want nice, smooth lines. Just go back and forth, long strokes, back and forth. There we go. And you go back up here to lighten it up a little bit. And as you get down, you go lighter, because you want some of that lightness into the water also, right? Yeah. So, starting to come along. So I'm going to add more white to my brush. Right, there we go. Back and forth, in and out. Good. There we go. Now, I will be uploading this if you don't have time to stay all day. I can't put it on TikTok, because once it goes on TikTok, once this live stream is over, then it's over, right? But I will download this and I'll put it up either, I don't think I can get it on Facebook because it might be too big, but I have a Rumble page where I put all my live streams, the full live stream on Rumble. Where else do I put them? I can also, well, Birdie's page is our live streams where we do our music. But for the paintings, I do paintings and the music on Rumble. And like I said, all you got to do is, on my TikTok, there should be a link tree there, called Link Tree. And if you click on that, all my social media will be there. So you want to try and find some more paintings, and you want to email me and ask me questions about how, paintings, what kind of brushes I use, and all kinds of good stuff, right? So that's not bad, is it? So you go long stroke in order to try to get rid of some of the streaks. See? People sometimes say to me, how do you get rid of streaks in your paintings? Well, long strokes. All right. Isn't that pretty? That's a pretty. Yeah. So next is the beach. Now, we want to get a nice beige cream color for the beach, I think. Depends on what the beach is, or, for your beach. If you live in the tropicals, then you can take pictures of your beach and then you can go from there. So we can make a nice light sandy beach. So I'm going to use my burnt sienna and a bit of yellow, right? Yellow and burnt sienna. And then I'm going to add white to it. So I need more white. White is what you're going to use the most. White will be the paint you use the most. So you have to get a couple of bottles of that. Or for a tip, you can buy house paint, latex house paint, and use that. Buy a gallon of paint for, I don't know, 20 bucks, 30 bucks. Maybe at some places you might get it cheap. And then you got a full gallon of paint, and of white paint. It's usually, you can buy lots of white paint, but cheapest way I always get more. The more you buy, the less it is. Right? Yeah. I'm just mixing that up. I'm trying to decide. I'm adding a bit more burnt sienna. So I want a beachy lake color. Just mixing it around. I'm just gonna see what that, oh, that's nice. Yeah, you can have any color you want, lighter if you want to. It's kind of nice. See? See those shadows here? I might leave some of those there. Come up around the beach. You can let that beach dry if you want to, so it won't get into your... Okay. I'm going to leave those. See that? Those there are happy accidents. Alright, so I like those because they're shadows. I'm going to leave those there. So I'm going to put some more burnt sienna into my paint right here. And some white. And then I'm going to put that on there. See how the colors change a bit? Which is really nice because you know yourself when you're on a beach, shadows and reflections from the sky, everything is going into that sandy beach, right? So we'll leave that. Leave that so you get some extra color there. Let's add some white. That'll brighten it up in places. Yeah, happy accident. How can I get another happy accident? Well, I think I'll just, there we go. So what I did was I put some dark sienna on the very tip of my brush, little corner of my brush, just the tiniest bit, and then I kind of just let it fall off, right? Just let it fall off. Yeah. Create some shadows. All right. I'm going to add some white this time, just so I can get some different values of color. Right, so dark, medium, and light. Do some shadows, and some different shades of your beach color. Nice. Might add a little more dark this time. See? See, you can do whatever you want. See that? Scrub, scrub, scrub. And if you scrub it in, the beach is kind of like where people are walking and stuff, so you don't need to be smooth. That don't have to be a smooth blend, not like the sky or the water, okay? So there we go. Sort of scrub it on. This is a bristle brush, by the way, so it's good for scrubbing, but you can use synthetic also. So I'm gonna mix in a little more burnt sienna and a little bit of white. I'm just gonna sort of throw it on together. See, I'm not even mixing it too much. See what happens. We'll mix it on here. Oh yeah, cool. Nice. Get some nice shadows. Look at that. Nice. So I'm just playing with my beach. I'm not really sure how I want it to perfectly look yet. I'm just going to play and see what it looks like first, and then I might add some other whites and things. So I'm just going to smooth it out, kind of scrub at it. That's kind of nice though. It's got different colors now. It's a beach, right? So it's going to be messy. I mean, you could even take your burnt sienna, a little bit of white, a little bit of yellow, and just scrub at it like that and have all these things going on. See? Tap at it. See? And then you get more of a rough looking beach instead of the smooth. You know, some beaches, and once people walk on them, it's going to be wrinkled and crinkled and all kinds of good stuff. So you can smooth that out a bit here. I'm still leaving my shadows. That's nice, right? There we go. Good. Very nice. So far, so good. Yeah. So far, so good. So that's the beach. That's the sky, the clouds, the hills, the water, and the beach. And then we're going to do a palm tree now in a little while. So I just want to make a decision what I want to do next. So what I think I want to do next is add some water lines to the beach. Like this here. I want it to look like water is coming up on the beach. So I got a fan brush. Now you can use a flat chiseled edge brush if you like. Alright. I'm going to go into my white with a little bit of blue. so it won't be too white. We can always add highlights to it after. But just take your white on your fan brush, on your whole fan brush. See that? And then you can take that and go right across, follow the line that you did, and push it right across. And we'll have to add more paint. We'll probably have to stop and add more paint. Now make it look like just water coming up on the beach. Right? See? So I'm just using my fan brush. You can use a flat brush. And it looks like water is coming up on the beach. See, the easiest way to do it is get that much on first, and then you can play with it after. Like you can bring it back into the water, so it looks like it's part of the water coming in. And then move it back and forth, just so it all blends nicely. All kinds of things you can do. And that gives it more of a blended look, see? And you can also then tap on some water on top of that to make it look like it's moving in. Make it look more, a little more realistic. See? Tap, 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 tap. So once you got your shape, the biggest thing is get those shapes first, and then you can work with it. All right. There we go. There we go, there we go, and there we go. There we go. So that's kind of nice, see? So, all right. So you can both see it, right? There's all the colors. What I like to do now is, I like to take my fan brush and fill it up again with a bit of paint, right? Blue and white, a little bit of more white than blue. And maybe there's some water lines coming in on the beach. Maybe some water coming in on the beach. Just these little bits of water coming in, you know, kind of coming up on the beach. Just a little bit. Barely see them. Right? It's just so, you know how water sort of sneaks up on the beach, right? Yeah, and a little bit more white just to brighten it up a little bit. There we go. Sneaking up on the beach. There we go. Good. Yeah. Coming along. All right, so what I like to do now is try to get a palm tree. Now, palm trees, not too bad, you know, but you just, what you need to do is use a flat brush. All right, use a flat brush, a flat synthetic brush. Now, palm trees, they're not real thick, you know, like they don't have a big old trunk like some trees, right? They're more. So I'm going to use, let me see. I think I'm going to use white at one end of my brush. This might work out and it might not. And brown on the other one. I'm going to try that, okay? And wherever the shadow is, that's where I'm going to put my... Now, I don't know if this is going to work. I hope it does. I've done them before, but with different techniques. So this may or may not work. Let's find out. Hello. All right, so let's say the tree is coming up around here. All right. Cross our fingers. So the brown side on the right. Here we go. Here goes nothing. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. I'm going to make it skinnier, so I'm going to start turning it a little bit. I'm going to push a little harder because I'm going to run out of paint, which is fine. And I'm going to come up as high as I can. And there we go. Now, I don't know if... We'll see how that looks when the palms go on them. So, There we go. That's a nice blend down here. I'm going to shape it up a little bit with the edge of my brush. Chisel edge of my brush. The chisel edge is the very top of your brush, see? So if you lose your chisel edge, just pull your brush through the paint like that. I'm going to add a little more brown and white just so that I get that two-tone. I'm going to get two-tone, see? So I'm going to use, see how I got to clean this up, right? So get that cleaned up here. Get that little two-tone on the go there. So you just play with the edge there. I might mess it up, but whatever, you know. Can always fix it later. But with the tree trunk, it might be a little harder to fix it. You make it too wide or too thick or too strange looking. So be as careful as you can with that one. So I'm going to, let's see, I want a brown. Go up here like this. That's the edge of it there. And then I'm going to clean that edge up here with the chiseled edge of my brush. That's my shadow. My shadow edge, right? And if you want to lighten up the back there, you can just start putting on a little bit of that light color here. Just put a little bit of white on the corner of your brush, and then you can just take that corner and kind of get that edge there. So get that edge too, right? All right. There we go. There we go. Now we got to put the palms on there. Let's put some palms on there. Well, I'm going to use my fan brush and hope for the best. Let's see. The palms are going to be green, so we need blue. Now you can, if you've got a green color, you can use a green out of the tube, or you can make your own green by yellow and blue, right? So I'm going to make a dark green first with a little bit of red added to it. All right. I just kind of like dark first. So what I'm going to do is, to make this easy on me, I'm going to make a little dot right here. Okay, that's the center of it. And then I'm going to take that and move it out like that. Okay, so I'm just going to take the very top of my brush, and I'm going to make these palms. So it depends on how many palms you want. So I got one. Let's see, maybe one down here, two. They all come from the center to make it easier. 3, 4. Going out that way too. All right. Out here, it might look a little messy now, but that's okay, because your fan brush is sort of making these nice palms for you. Right? So now you got some started. Now you want to make them look like palms, so you got to pull out and make them fatter. Right? You can go from one side to the other. So that's one. And then you do it again. All right? All right. So then you're going to pick this palm right there. So you take the edge of it and you pull out from that edge just to fatten it up and give it that nice edge there. You can make them as long as you want. Look at some pictures of palm trees and see what they look like. Right? Pull them down. Good. And this one here I might want to pull down a little bit more. And then I'll pull up, out. Just so that I can make them look fuller. And out to the side here. I like the fan brush because it gives it a really nice rough look. Gives that nice rough look. Right, there's another one here, so you can just take it from there and pull it out and just make it look thicker. There we go. Make it longer if you want. Come up to the back. So both sides of that line, all right? Both sides of the line. Good. And then you're going to do another one here. This one here. Make sure you get lots of paint on your brush or it won't move. All right, there we go. Now it moves better when you got more paint. Oh, that's pretty. And then you're going to go down here like this. If you want to make them longer, you just go right ahead, right? And then your brush will do all the work for you. You won't have to do much of it. All you have to do is move your hand, and your brush will do the rest. You just on an angle there. So that's not a bad little palm tree. I can make it bigger. I can make it smaller. I can make it whatever way I want, right? I don't know if I should make it bigger or not. I should leave it alone, I suppose. Kind of nice, though. There we go. Looks like a little palm tree. It's blowing in the wind, blowing in the wind. Yeah, blowing in the wind. And then the palm tree might have a few little palms sticking out down here. Who knows? Depends on the beach. Some blue and yellow and a bit of red. Maybe there's something down here pulling out from here. Maybe, there we go. Maybe some kind of palm. Who knows? This is your world, so you can have whatever you want, okay? Maybe some nice. That's nice. See? Because you want to have something there that's, you know, but it's pretty nice. Good. All right. Hope you're learning a little bit from it, you know. Be nice if you could learn something. If you're already an artist, you're probably just looking to see the different techniques that I do, because not everybody has the same techniques. You don't want to be the same as everybody else. You want to do your own thing. So what you do is you practice, not even practice, you know, experiment. That's what I say to people. You don't have to practice makes perfect. Experiment makes more perfect, because it's making it perfect for you, right? So don't worry about, you know, following along. Now I'm going to add a little bit of burnt sienna to that green color that I made. I want nice and dark, some red. You know, if you want dark, just use the dark colors, all right? And a bit of yellow to green it up a bit. Then I'm going to put some bushes or something over here. Just, I don't know, just tap, tap, tap with your brush. And that paint is still a bit wet, so it's kind of mixing in with it, which isn't too bad. And then we'll just bring that little bush over here, all the way down here. Just that little interest. Now you can have people lying on the beach. You can have whatever you want. You have sailboats in the back there. You can have whatever you want. I'm just going to let that go out there a little bit. And that should do it. There we go. And we'll clean that up now after, and when I decide what I want to do with it. But that's just another little bush there, just to give it some balance, right? Because you have your tree over here, and you want to have some stuff going on over there, so that it'll balance out. Right. We're going to add a bit of highlight to our palm tree, okay? A little bit of highlight. Clean off. You have to keep your brushes clean in between, unless you're using the same color. I got the hiccups. Oh, I dropped my paint. Oh, don't. That's it, but when you go live, you know, anything can go wrong. So I'm going to add some highlights. I think I'm just going to add some yellow, a little bit of burnt sienna, not, you know, and a little bit of green, just for highlights. See? Just mix up a little bit of highlight. And I'm going to do the same as I did before. Just go back over, start in the center, And then just go gently, add a little bit of highlight to it, your palm tree. Now if it's too wet, it may not, it might just blend in with it. So I'm going to add a little more yellow so I can get it to stand out for you so you can see it. Alright, so I'm just going back, I'm doing the same stroke I did before. And that way then, that will brighten it up a little bit. Right? Maybe there's some light shining on it, who knows. Might be a little dark under there, so you don't want to do too much. I like the burnt sienna and the white and the yellow. It's a nice color. We'll say it's dark under here. I don't want to... Where's the sun coming into? Let's see. Let's say the sun is coming from... Because the light is on back of the tree here, so the sun must be coming in from the left. And so if it's coming in through here, it's going to brighten up some of these edges here. So think about where your light is, and that will help you decide where you want to put most of the light. Alright, so there we go. Just some light there. A little bit of yellow, a bit of white, a bit of burnt sienna. And the light's probably hitting off the edge up here. We have to make it up because we don't know. We're not there, right? We're just painting this out of our head. And we're trying to decide where the light is and where everything goes. So because it's your world, you can have the light wherever you want it. But be conscious of the of where the sun is. So on those edges there, it's going to be really bright, isn't it? Like if the sun is shining right on top of that. So you might want to add a little extra white and yellow. A little bit here. A little bit of brightness here. It's mainly where the sun is, see? Give it a little extra light. See? So, because it's important to have highlights on your paintings. That's what brings it to life. Highlights and shadows. Right? Highlights and shadows. There's a little bit of light shining on here. Who knows? Nobody knows. Only you. You're the one that's making all decisions. Hey. It's decision time. It's like when you're having supper. You have to decide what you're going to have for supper. You have to decide on a recipe. You look at the recipe, then you change it up a little bit. You make your own supper. You make all decisions yourself. That's the beauty about painting. You're the one that makes all decisions yourself. Right? So you make all your own decisions. I'm going to go back in and highlight that bush that I have there. I'm going to use my bristle brush. That's the bristle, because that way bristles you can tap, tap, tap. Alright, and we'll just brighten that up a little bit. Some more yellow, a little bit of blue to get a bit of a greenish color. And, because the light is shining on the edges here, so we want to make sure we got a little bit of light going on here, right? Alright, so there we go. A little bit of light going on over here. Just tap, tap, tap. Maybe there's a couple of little stand up here a little bit. Just tap, tap, tap. There we go. Maybe there's some up here because the light's shining. There's some sticking up. Add a little more yellow. Light colors, yellows and whites. Right, whatever colors you want. It's probably going to be a little darker as it goes down, so we don't want to add too much brightness to the bottom part. Like I said, we're not there, but we have to use our imagination. Right? Use your imagination. So you want to keep that nice and dark at the bottom there, because there's where the shadows are, right? So you can just add a little bit of burnt umber or burnt sienna down here. Just keep it nice and dark. But then you got some nice colors on, nice brights on top there. Right? And that's that. It's coming along. There we go. It's coming along. So I'm going to add a little bit of white to my yellow this time, just so I can get a nice bright, because the sun is probably shining brightly down here. Alright, so there we go. So I just brightened it up a little bit more, because I thought maybe the sun is shining a little bit more down there. See, that kind of brings it out a bit more then, see? Gives it a little more texture, and, you know, kind of tap at it, and it'll give you more texture. So it looks like some kind of bushes or something going on down there. Nice. Now this is going to have a bit of a shadow going on here, isn't it? I'm thinking if the light is shining on the back of it, then it's going to make a shadow. So how can we make a shadow? Let's see. I don't want to mess it up too much. I don't, I'm just going to use a flat brush. And I'm going to use, what I'm going to do is, to make this easy, I think, not so disastrous, we got shadow color, which is kind of a purplish color. So you can put some red in a little bowl here, and some blue. And then you can add some water to it to make kind of a glaze. Because a shadow, you can see through shadows, right? So the shadows on the beach, you'll be able to see through that shadow. You'll be able to see the sand, right? So I'm just going to make my purplish color. And I'm going to add water, okay? I'm going to add, this is my magic mist, but I prefer water, but I just have that handy, all right? So there we go. So that's a nice shadowy color. And I'm just going to wipe it off, right? Just wipe it off. And then we're going to see where the shadow is. I'm thinking it's probably out in the ocean too. I just want to give it a little bit of shadowy color here, just to say. Something like that. Just simple little shadow, right? That's all. You don't need anything. A little bit of shadow here from that bush. Not much. But I do like shadows because it gives your painting more of a realistic look. So that's all. That's a glaze. And now you can see through that. See? You can see through that shadow. All right. That's marvelous. Now, what we're going to do now is we are going to add some shapes to these. So all we need is a small flat brush. Just a small flat brush. And then we will take our small flat brush and we will, all you do is find one, just a small flat brush, okay, synthetic. And what we're going to do is highlight this a little bit. So let's see what I can do here. Let's see. I'll take my burnt sienna and some white, brighten it up a little bit. So I just mixed a bit of burnt sienna with some white. And then I'm going to, let me see. The light is on the back here, so let's see. I just want to get a shape. Just going to start at the top and work my way down. Kind of just throw in some of this color, just so that I get more of a shape to my hill, right? Basically is all I'm doing. I'm just coming down from the top and I'm moving it down a bit. And that gives you more of a shape. You want to keep the bottom nice and dark. Alright, so I'll just get a little bit more up here. You probably can see it there. I don't have a zoom. I can't zoom in on my phone. So hopefully you can see this. Just getting it brighter here. It's kind of moving back a bit here, just to give it shape. And here, and here. See how it shapes up? It gives a, oh, it's a hill, it's a mountain, it's whatever it is, right? At least it's something. And same over here, just start at the top. And because now the sun is definitely on top of that, then you can just add a little bit of brightness there. And then here, at the edge here, and that will give you a shape. So you don't come all the way down, you just kind of scrub in a little bit just to give it, because you want to keep the bottom. So you start at the top, move down, and at the top move down a little bit on the back there. Just scrub around, scrub, just to give it a bit of brightness there. It brings it out more, see? Nice. And then you can also take a liner brush. It's called a liner brush, which is a long liner brush like this. And this long liner brush you can put through the dark blue and burnt sienna to make it, and red. That'll make it black, almost black for you. Okay, those three colors. And then you can take that and make some cracks. Make some cracks. I know it's hard for you to see because it's so far away, but keep the bottom dark, and then when you put a dark line down here, you can bring it up a little bit. Make it look like cracks in the, right? It's like tree branches. So you start at the bottom, and then you bring up a few of these, just pull up a little bit. And that'll give you some of these lines, make it look like when you're out looking at big hills and they're just shadows. They're basically shadows, right? There we go. Wherever you think there might be shadows, you put in some dark paint. And you might say, well, how do you know, Well, take pictures. Take pictures of where you're to, and look for shadows, look for highlights, all right? See, that gives it a nice, I'm going to move it in so you can see it. This could be disastrous, because I might lose it all. But let's try. See? All right. Hopefully I can get this back to where it was. There we go. That's a bit better. And this one here. So I'm also streaming on YouTube. So I'm going to get both you guys to be able to see everything that you're looking at. Good, good. I'm almost finished now already. So I'm glad you guys dropped in. I hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed the day and enjoy this little lesson. So you can also put a little bit of dark shadows here. Just so much, that to a painting. Mostly shadows, highlights, shapes. Get your shapes first. And put on your colors, and then fill it in with whatever you think you need. Alright, so there we go. Just want to fix up that bottom part there. Whoops. Aha! Almost got a little mess there. That's okay. Not too worried. Don't get worried if you bang into something with the wrong paint, or, just carry on. Then you can fix it up later. But see, there we go. So I got shadows not in there now, see? And that will, nice dark down here. Now you can also make reflections in the water. So what you can do is, you can take your flat brush and kind of darken up. Well, see, it's already got a bit of shadow there. You can see the darkness, right? So if you want to darken that up a bit more, you can take your blue paint, blue, a little bit of red, darken it up even more, okay? And then you can take that and use it for kind of a shadow underneath here, right? Now, if you like it the way it is, you don't have to do this, but it would make it a little more realistic looking, right? Just a little bit of shadows going on down here from that hill, and then over here. Now, I'm going to smooth that out, don't worry. Just want to make sure I got them in the right place. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean my brush off really good, and then I'm going to clean it off and dry it off in my tissue that I have there, and I'm going to go back over it like this to blend it in so that it doesn't look too odd. See, now you got a nice little shadow going on underneath there without being too much. Right? Try to catch the stuff up before it dries, alright, because acrylics dry really fast unless you use my magic white and magic mist. Alright, so that's that. So you get a little bit of shadow, see? All these little shadows and highlights make a big difference in your paintings. Alright, I like that. I like it. And what else? Let's see. How about, I'm not going to do much more. I think that's pretty as it is. You guys like it? Let me know. let me know in the comment section if you got any questions, or you want to email me, or if you got any questions while we're still here. And then I can help you. How many of you out there are painters or learning to paint? You know? So I'm going to do a couple of little birds in the sky. So get a liner brush. That long liner brush I showed you. I lost it now. I put it back to clean it and I can't find it. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Yep. Yep. And so let's try a couple of little birds in the sky. So what will we do? Let's see, I'm trying to think. Let's try some, I'm going to use the dark. Yeah, I think I'll go with the black. And where would they fly would be nice. Let me see. I want to do it so that it looks, you know, it, I think maybe in the center, because we have a bunch of stuff going on here, and we have a bunch of stuff going on here. There's not much in the center. So maybe we could add them to the center as if they're coming over the hill here somewhere. So I'm just going to make the letter V like that. And I'm going to put 3 here, because whenever you're doing anything, put in 3s. It makes it much nicer. And of course, as you go back further, you make them smaller, okay? So that one, and maybe there's one flying up here somewhere. All right, and that's your, now you can make them closer. You can make a big one if you want to, you know. But I think that's kind of nice. And we can put white tips on the edges of their wings. Depends on the kind of birds you want flying around in the sky. You have seagulls if you want to. So I'm just going to add some white to the tips. Well, see, they might disappear because of the sky is kind of light, right? So it may not work. I'm just going to add a couple little dots. Dot, dot, dot. And that gives it the illusion of white wings, right? White wings. Now you can put a little sailboat out there if you want, you know. You can have whatever you want. You can have people on the beach. You can have water lines in the water, but I think the water is kind of nice and smooth today. It's nice. It's got a nice feeling of, it's just sitting there. You know how you're on the beach sometimes, and it's just no wind, nothing, right? It's just a beautiful day, soft clouds in the sky, nice beach. You're just walking on the beach, and it's really pretty. So I think that would do it. So that's not bad, is it? I'll see you in the next video. Bye from Allison Prior. Today I have some really exciting news for you, and what I want to tell you is that I have launched my Patreon page. And my Patreon page, I did it so that you guys could get early access to my new only $1 a month. You can have access to all my upcoming videos, and they're full videos. Some are an hour, some are 2 hours, and ad-free, and I have the patterns here for you, and I have a lot of other perks too. So I'll leave the link to my Patreon page down below, and then you can go in and visit my page, become my Patreon, and then you'll have access to all my paintings.